So the ones who come to you in the first place and they're not in a great state in terms of their own um, viewpoint of themselves in their own eating and their exercise or lack thereof, can you generally drill down that there is a problem with the way they view themselves and the way they feel or don't feel worthy enough for improvement?
Yeah, like I think a lot of the time you can look at someone's why. Why are they coming for my services and why are they wanting to lose weight or change their appearance? Or, when you're looking at the why of someone, a lot of the time, if you get a superficial answer, usually that tells me that there's a lot more going on underneath that we need to
Mm,
uncover. Because
mm,
the thing is, if you're not happy with your internal, no matter what you do to your external, you could lose all the weight, be the most toned, aesthetically pleasing person you've ever seen.
mm.
But if you don't feel right in your inside, it's never going to be enough.
Oh goodness. And that is, we see that over and over, don't we? We see that when we come
Yeah.
across people who, in our eyes, could not be more beautiful as we would,
Yeah.
traditionally say, and yet they have got huge issues in terms of the way they view themselves and the efficacy that they see themselves or the worthiness. I think that's such a beautiful analogy. So, almost like a house, that foundation needs to be there. You need to have that strength of self worth before you can worry about, you know, putting on the paint and the curtains and the bricks on the outside. The foundations need to be strong enough. And then if the foundations are strong enough, I would imagine that's where improvement happens and sticks.
Well, yeah, that's where you're going to get consistency because you've got people who are willing to day after day show up for themselves because they believe that they're worth it, is really where it comes from.
It reminds me of one of the barriers to behavior change we know is motivation. And what that means is if you're motivated, say, to lose some weight because your doctor says you need to lose weight, you're at risk of type 2 diabetes, for example, and there's a cholesterol issue here, or your partner says you've really been stacking on the kilos lately. That's very different motivation to I want to feel better in my clothes, or I want to look at myself with pride in the mirror. So the motivation there is, I would imagine, if you're not feeling great about yourself because of what your partner said or because your doctor has said you need to get yourself into shape, but it's not coming from a deep place of identity and worthiness for you, you might be less likely to give it a go for somebody else's sake, but then fall off the wagon, as opposed to if you're doing it for you and it's something that is part of your core identity.
Definitely. And I think also helping people to establish a why. Is it important to look after yourself? Because at
Mm,
the end of the day, you can find a reason for everyone to improve their health. And I
mm,
honestly believe that no matter who you are, there is something that it could help you show up better with that you would value.
mm. Yeah, so is part of your coaching asking those good questions and getting people to drill right down
Yeah,
first?
I
Mm,
Yeah, look, I once upon a time, if someone came up to me and said, I want to lose all this weight and grow a booty, I would have been like, excellent, let's go.
done.
And I am still so happy to help someone do that, but I want to make sure we're doing it for the right reasons and that it
Mm,
is because they're proud of themselves. And, there is nothing wrong with liking how you look and taking pride in your appearance and your fitness. Nothing wrong with that at all. But it's understanding there's more to it. So something that I ask everyone is, can you tell me 3 things you like about yourself that are not looks related? And that's
mm.
straight away where you can see. I had some clients I asked, it took them nearly an hour session to be able to give me one answer. And that's
Wow.
very common. It puts people off guard a lot.
Mm, mm.
But that's really a great starting point with someone because you can really establish how they value and feel about themselves from the get go.